back to the ballot measures, and this is the Multnomah County referral for the Oregon Historical Society. We have no speaker against, so there may be a little time for questions, but Kay Mannion is going to tell us why we should vote for 26-118.
Well, it's been a long evening, so I will make it kind of short, and I'm a volunteer, I'm not an employee. I am, however, a fifth-generation Oregonian, and my family came on the Oregon Trail. And I think this is, a remarkable state, and one thing that is sort of remarkable is we have dead last. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear that? Yeah, okay. I think this is a remarkable state, and the people here are really progressive, and it surprises me that we are actually dead last in funding for historical societies in the United States. And for 100 years, the state has funded the Historical Society. In the year 2003 to 2006, they did not. They are again funding it, however, at a reduced level given, our current economy. So the Historical Society has already cut the budget. They've working on reserves. They've cut the staff. They have cut the library, the research library, to 12 hours a week, which is really not very useful for people who travel here from out of state. It's a wonderful resource, and so the levy is a 5-year levy, and it's 5 cents per assessed $1,000 value. So if you have a $200,000 home, it's $10 a year. The membership is $11, so if it passes, everyone in Multnomah County gets a free membership, which is, I think, a great deal. And the best part for me is that every school child of the state will get in free. And the other side of this that's really interesting is the Historical Society is being used more and more. We had 8,000 school children last year. I mean, we have kids come from Condon and Scio and Drain and Sisters and Joseph, and I'm part of the docent program that takes the school kids around. It's just exciting. And even if you don't vote for this, come down and visit or be a docent. The school kids are really enthusiastic, and the 4th graders study Oregon history, and we've got the covered wagons, we've got Lewis and Clark's branding iron, we've got things that you can't see anywhere else in the state. Kids love it, and we tie in with the teachers, with the curriculum programs, and it's just a really great place. I know it has a bit of a reputation as being, because it was called a society, I think that didn't help, as being a bit of a West Side elitist organization. It really isn't. It's just, we're all over the state now. And the ballot measure, if it passes, also funds 4 East County museums, Troutdale, 3 others, can't remember, I think there's Gresham. So it isn't just for this historical society. We're hoping that the state will kick in again in 5 years, that things will change, and that this will sunset. So it's not a real expensive measure. If it doesn't pass, they're starting to, they'll phase it down, is basically what will happen in 2011. So if it does pass, and also there's no curator. I mean, we've got a major museum with no curator. It's much larger than the downtown facility. We have a huge facility in Gresham where many great items are stored. But a museum without a curator, I mean, and it's a state museum. I mean, that's kind of embarrassing. So if it passes, well, we want to get the library, research library back up to 32 hours a week. We want to hire a curator back. We want to get the staff back. It's an odd juxtaposition where there's so much demand and the use is way up with the funding going down. And that's kind of where the state is. So that's the ballot measure, 5 cents per $1,000 assessed value. So are there questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I support the Oregon Historical Society. I'm an individual member. But I'm wondering, and this is not to be critical, as a member, what, other than the publication, the quarterly publication, what services do I receive that now, if the ballot measure passes, the rest of the county will receive as a member? And I think this is important to people that are paying a membership due, that what makes me, I mean, what do I get for my dues in addition to what everybody else will get if the ballot measure passes, other than the publication?
You get to feel like a good person. Well, you know, when we started talking about this originally, we thought, what we need to pitch this to is apartment dwellers and pass it, and then everybody owns a home, buys your membership. Because basically, it's, you know, it's on property taxes. So, do you get something additional? I don't think you do. I think what you get to know is, you know, if you came down there and you saw the school groups, you would think this is such a cool thing that every school child could get in free on a school trip, or that any Multnomah County resident could get in free. It's a little daunting, I think, if it's $11 an adult and $5 each children. If you want to stop in for an hour for a lot of families, you know, it's easily $30 real quick. I mean, I wouldn't do it unless I were going to spend several hours. I wouldn't go in for an hour with the whole family. And this just opens it up. So if you're going to pay dues on top of it, I think you consider that part of being a really good citizen. But would you get something extra? No.
It's kind of like OPD membership.
Yeah,
When they
it's
listen to the
like that.
radio, they
Yeah.
still have membership.
Yeah, it's your place in heaven, you know, and it opens it up to you. You know, it makes you a good person and a good citizen. That's kind of, yeah. So even if it's cheap, you know, it's $10, unless you got a really great house and then you can buy a membership. But even if you don't vote for it, come down, and I think that the exhibits change all the time. It's just it's really become very dynamic kind of place. And the school kid thing is such fun. They're really enthusiastic, the kids are. And we serve from preschool, even preschool programs now up through college. So it's really, it's a wonderful place to be. And I think the state would be very sad to have it disappear, or at least go. Are there any other questions? Thank you.
Well, just a comment that I was always really jealous of Washington DC and the Smithsonian and being able to go to a museum for 45 minutes and not pay admission. It sounds like a great deal, great opportunity.
And you know, there's just one more thing. The person who's now in charge of the education is from the Smithsonian. So the staff is really working above pay grade, I think, a lot. I mean, that's why it's gotten really, the school program has gotten huge, and the docent group is large, and it's a wonderful place. It would be a shame if it weren't here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamie.